Kia ora everyone, today I take a look at a controversial LEGO Batman set that released this year in 2024. It is always fun and not at all annoying that we only get 3 sets a year from a theme that I used to absolutely adore, and the sets that we do get happen to be quite This here is set 76274, get this right, Batman with the Batmobile versus Harley Quinn and Mr. Freeze. That's 4 lines on the box. LEGO, please work on those naming conventions, Jesus. Don't worry, it gets worse. The set here contains 435 pieces and 3 minifigures in total. 2 of them are exclusive to this set, but one of them is a slightly different variant to an already released minifigure. The set here retails for 60 USD or 100 NZD. There it is. In my eyes, this set is going to go down in history for me as one of the worst priced sets that I have ever purchased. That's also precisely why I waited until sale prices where I managed to get this for a bit more of a reasonable 60 NZD. The price of Batmobile was just a few years ago. Here's what I'm thinking. I'll cover the set now, and then in the final verdict, I'll go over the exact reason why I think this is one of the worst LEGO Batman sets that LEGO have ever made, and why I hate this set as someone who actually managed to buy it for a pretty good price in comparison to what it actually retails for. There are timestamps located down below. If you missed the days when LEGO DC was actually premium in quality, you should like this video and subscribe to the channel because it helps to make more videos like this one in the future. Finally, after years of begging, LEGO have graced us with Batman the Animated Series sets. The 90s cartoon is beloved by so many around the world, and this was a very heavily requested sub-theme from the DC line for years now. The character styles are incredible, and I've waited for a grey-suited, blue-caped Batman for years. This is not the first time that LEGO are dipping their toes into the animated series. However, earlier this year they released this absolute beauty, the Gotham City Skyline set, which released around 2 months before this set here did. And the difference between these two sets is a good few extra $100, a move that annoyed me because it feels like it's LEGO intentionally taking advantage of an older fan base by charging incredibly expensive prices on a toy during a cost of living crisis. This Batmobile is a decent enough alternative for those like me who can't quite stomach spending $500 on an 18+ toy at the moment. It also acts as something a little bit extra for those who did buy the art piece as well, because obviously you want the Batmobile. The Batmobile is a lot bigger in scale to what we're used to when it comes to LEGO Batmobiles. It's accurate enough in its scale to the series, though then again the car can fit more than just one person in the source material. We have seen some excellent Batmobiles that fit more than one person before, so looking at it, I guess I would have rather the design fit more people rather than be a longer length. Let's address the elephant in the room here with those colors. The cartoon does have a very unique dynamic style in which shadows interact with the colors in rather unusual ways sometimes, so the blues sometimes appear black. It is a beautiful style that just doesn't quite translate over to LEGO in my eyes. You can see here from the footage the dominance of colors are frequently changing depending on the angle and the current situation. Making this set entirely black may not have been the most accurate color-wise, but I think it should have utilized that darker color scheme and represented the blues and whites through use of stickers. Printed pieces ideally, but knowing LEGO, stickers would have been the way to do it. And now that I have that image in my head, I can't stop thinking about it. In hand, I'm not so bothered by the colors now like I was at the reveal, but it's also entirely possible that's just because I've gotten used to the fact that this thing has a weirder shade of blue instead. Aesthetically speaking, it does feel as though it was ripped straight from the cartoon. The design on areas like the hood and the smoothness all around are phenomenal and very different to other Batmobiles that I've had the pleasure of building in the past. I actually regret not having any of those on hand at this time of the recording because I would have loved to have compared these. It's pretty minimal on the play features here, which is interesting because it certainly isn't priced like a children's toy, but it does have goofy childlike features. We have some stud shooters here at the front of the car, which you're able to use to take down the villains of the set. These are conveniently attached by these pegs though, which means you can remove them, and this is how we will be keeping the car from now on. Again, I'm really impressed with that silhouette design of the vehicle here. It looks exactly how I would have imagined the car adapted to LEGO, build-wise of course. Our driver's section here opens up, but I really wish they could have tried to do a sliding feature here. There's complications with doing a design like that, but I have to imagine it's in the pipeline somewhere so that they can convince people like myself that we need to buy yet another brand new Batmobile. Inside we have some stickers for controls for various different buttons. The driver's section also features an exposed gap underneath, which you can kind of see here. That's so Batman can fit inside without the need of removing his cape, an entirely new molded plastic piece, but more on that later. It is really cool to me when LEGO makes some new innovation on a regular design, and you can almost see him sitting in there too. He sits just like a normal minifigure despite having a plastic piece that should be preventing such hefty movements. The final feature to talk about here is pretty standard nowadays with Batmobiles. At the back of the car we have an exhaust with a flame emerging. It showcases Batman's careless attitude towards speeding. If you move the vehicle, that flame will move too. too, because it's connected to a circuit connecting the wheels to the flame. A better look at the underside here to show how those gears work to get that full effect. Because this is such a high price for a Batmobile set, in hopes of making the set feel a bit more premium than it actually is, LEGO have included a very cool looking display stand and plaque. Some of the more recent sets have also had the same treatment, but at the same time some of the vehicles have been completely skipped over. It showcases LEGO's repeated trend of picking and choosing. We have some info about the vehicle here on the plaque, which is a sticker, not a print unfortunately. The car is able to be placed on like so, and the stand even features some rotational options to better work with your own personal display. In my eyes, not totally necessary, but appreciated nonetheless. And onto the minifigure inclusions now, easily the most appealing part for Mini. This here is Batman finally based on Kevin Conroy's portrayal in the cartoon series. This Batman figure is a good Batman minifigure. He's not perfect for me and what I personally want to see, but it feels damn good to have a distinct new version of Batman in a set. The things that I do like first, I love those prints. Thank God he features some leg printing here. It's not perfect though, the yellow belt's looking pretty orange and gold, but again, it's a lighting thing from the show, so whatever. Batman here uses this crazy cowl piece that was introduced last year, I believe. People hated it at release, and I'm guessing they still do, but I actually always really liked it. I could see this being a perfect fit for the animated series Batman specifically, and I think I was right, though I do really hope that LEGO don't just start using this for every Batman figure from here on, because I believe it was introduced to be used as a Michael Keaton cowl. For that, it's absolutely terrible. For this, it works really well. He features a double-sided expression, and for the past few releases now, Batman no longer has this weird white strip on his head. Instead, that white strip has been molded into the cowl piece, and it leaves the Bruce Wayne head plain. This is an issue that I have been harping on for years now. In fact, it even made the channel grow significantly, so that's pretty awesome to see. I still want to see a Batman with the eyes exposed on his cowl like in the movies, please though. Removing that cape to show some of the back printing there, everything here works for me as far as translating a cartoon Batman goes, but let's talk about that cape. I quite like soft goods on minifigures in the traditional style of capings like in the Star Wars sets and Batman, but I don't mind these rubber plastic ones either. I like this cape for what it is, but it is missing the most important thing for the animated series, and that's the color blue. The animated series Batman has one incredibly distinct feature that makes him unique amongst the other iterations, and it's the blue on the inside of his cape. LEGO made a very accurate cape in the Gotham City Skyline set, and I should hope so, for $500, but typical of them to not make this an accurate one here. The reasons are simple. The rubber material probably wouldn't work for the coloring, I suppose. I am imagining it must be a challenge to perform something like that. The other reason, and the more realistic reason I think, they've left it black so that they can reuse this over the next few years in other LEGO Batman related sets. It's disappointing to see, including both the fabric cape and plastic cape would have redeemed this. This here is Harley Quinn, who I'm told is the exact same figure from the Gotham City Skyline set. It's pretty shocking to see if I'm honest. Harley has some really great leg printing here, and comes with a mallet weapon that also features some printing, which is nice to see. Double-sided expression is nice. That is all the positives I have to say about this awful figure. I'm expected to pay $100 NZD for this toy. I expect all of the figures to be of a high quality. LEGO have been repeatedly releasing figures with awful colored printing here because they refuse to put in the time for R&D into fixing their printing issue. This has been a problem for LEGO minifigures for a good few years now, and it didn't used to be like this. Harley Quinn is supposed to have white printing here, but the colors on the reds here appear pink. I can practically see through that skin tone. A figure printed from 2008 has better printing quality than a figure from 2024. The reason why LEGO didn't just add a white head for Harley is because that would showcase the terrible contrast with the white printing on the torso. It's better to have them both appear as pink and look awful than to have anything of actual substance and quality. Again, because this is a repeat figure, it's actually more offensive to me that this figure is released in the $500 set and not just in this one. They doubled up on her because she's the cheapest as far as quality goes. This is an inexcusable minifigure. This here is Mr. Freeze, the only true defining exclusive figure of the set, and the reason why I think buyers of the Skyline are probably still going to want it. He's fine, it's about what I expected to get from an animated series Mr. Freeze, say around 5 years ago now, and that was before the big LEGO price hike. For 100 NZD though, no, I expect better. The figure is more acceptable than the god-awful Harley though. Taking a look at the source material here, you can see where LEGO decided to cut corners when it came to the printing. I think the face likeness is pretty good actually. The piece used for the dome I like as well. I feel like it's new because I haven't seen that used on a Freeze figure before. It's a shame that the printing of his headband doesn't go all the way around his head, head, but that's just kind of like typical LEGO really. He includes a basic stud shooter, which is okay. I always prefer brick-built weapons though that don't feature something interactive. The no arm printing is disappointing to see, but the no leg printing is damn shameful. The lack of prints there make it look like a basic release figure, and that's not up to the high standards that LEGO themselves like to claim that they strive for. The box art for the set here shows the Cape Crusader driving and the two villains are attacking. Batman's logo's up there and the terrific set title is there too. The set's lengthy title can easily be shortened to Batman the Animated Series Batmobile. That's what I've called this video. We also have our figures down here along with the animated cartoon of Batman. The back of our box shows a different image of the set with the figures now around the vehicle. It also shows off that display plaque. We can see the features here which were already covered in this video. Instructions for the set are the very basic kind. There's no interesting artwork to keep the costs down and no advertisements inside either, which is a shame, but currently speaking there are no other Batman the Animated Series related playsets. Overall, this is just simply not worth that egregious price tag in my eyes. This is all subjective thinking. You at home may view this as well worth it, and that's great. I managed to get something related to Batman the Animated Series for significantly less in price, which is a win for me and probably what LEGO is counting on. To make my point easier here, I'm going to be referring to this as a licensed Batmobile. Sometimes we get a Batmobile based on an original concept from LEGO, sometimes we get it based on a movie or a different specific iteration. Now since 2021, we've had a total of 5 licensed Batmobiles based on a specific iteration. The first one to release here was the Adam West series Batmobile, featuring 345 pieces, 2 minifigures and retailing for 30 USD or 60 NZD. Remember, this was only 3 years ago now. The next one to release was the Dark Knight Tumbler, which released in October of 2021. The set here featured 422 pieces, also featuring 2 minifigures, and it retailed for 40 USD, and if I remember correctly, probably around 70 NZD, which at the time, I thought that was egregious. Robert Pattinson's Batman had his vehicle released shortly afterwards in January of 2022. The set here featured 392 pieces and 2 minifigures and was priced the same as the Adam West one, 30 USD, 60 NZD. Last year we saw the release of this awful monstrosity. This is the 1989 Batmobile, which released in August of 2023, contained 438 pieces with 2 minifigures, and it retailed for 48 USD, and upwards of $85 here in NZD. I believe that this set would be one of the worst price sets I've ever seen, and amazingly, it was beaten by a different Batmobile. Not only is this set that we just looked at priced higher, it also features less pieces. Essentially, LEGO are saying to you that the Mr. Freeze figure is worthy of an additional $15. Harley is reused here, and the only thing new on Batman is that cape. It breaks my heart to see what LEGO have done to the DC and Batman brand over the past few years because the line used to be a guaranteed hit for me. I love the old LEGO DC sets and I can't wait for it to hopefully return to its former glory sometime in the future, but I also have my fears that this is what the treatment will be. Overpriced sets, poor quality of figures, and minimal releases. It's almost like LEGO themselves want the DC brand to fail. The only people that I know of that have excused this set as acceptable are the people who didn't actually have to pay for it themselves. If you like this review and you want to see more, liking this video and subscribing to the channel does help to support more videos like this one in the future. Thank you very much for watching everyone, ka kite anō, I hope to see you all next time.